Well, hi, it's Dare Palmer here, and it's Friday. Facebook Fix in the group, social media for small biz owners. Hope you've all had a wonderful week. It's been pretty crazy here. It's actually the end of the last week. This time on Friday, we finished the Friday 747, which was 7 days for $7. For creating massive engagement and organic reach on your Facebook business page. That was a amazing course. We had around 64 people registered, and ended up over about 55 actually made it into the group. I think I lost some along the way, which was a bit interesting about how people sign up to do things and then we just don't see them, which is a bit of a shame. But the momentum and the energy that was in the group was absolutely phenomenal, and I've had lots and lots of people begging to keep the group open. I will be shutting the group down. It's a 747, creating massive engagement and organic reach on your business page. I will be actually shutting that group down over the weekend because we're transitioning into boot camp, which is an 8-week course for Facebook code breakers. So I'm really excited about that. What I wanted to talk to you, I'll talk a little bit more about that a bit later on, but what I wanted to share with you today, there's been a lot of articles come out in the beginning of the year, in the last few weeks, say like sort of recapping what's been happening and doing. I did some. I think I posted in this group it was on my page, my business page. I posted. Actually, I might even get that up and show you because that was really interesting. If Facebook was a country, how big it would be. So just let me get that up because this is mind-blowing stuff. I did a little live about it the other day. I'm getting some thumbs up, so floating across. Hello, whoever's giving me thumbs up, welcome. And let me just see if I can find it quickly. Here we go. How big are social networks? This will blow your mind, folks. If you haven't seen this, I'll flip the camera around. Looks like we've got good... There we go. Looks like we've got reasonably good Wi-Fi access and good connection. But if you have a look here, how big are social networks? Now, this came out on the 17th of January, and it was published by the World Economic Forum. Have a look. This is just phenomenal. When you've got here, you've got Facebook. If it was a country, it would be the biggest country in the world. And China is here, India is here, WhatsApp is here. These messaging apps are becoming increasingly popular, and I will talk about Messenger as a standalone app on its own a bit later, like in today's Friday Facebook Fix, because there's some really exciting stuff coming our way that we can use Messenger for small business. Here's Instagram. The USA is sitting about here. Twitter and Google Plus. I was quite surprised about Google Plus. I actually thought that would have been a bit sort of lower down here. Say my connection's weak, so it might be a bit pixelated. I'm hoping you can see okay. We've got, if you can see, we've got down under Google Plus, there's Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, Japan, Mexico, Philippines. Under that, we've got LinkedIn and Snapchat, the blue and the yellow here, and then Ethiopia, Vietnam, and Egypt. So that is a amazing snapshot of how Facebook has just eclipsed the world in actual population. It's just mind-blowing. I don't know if you can wrap your head around this actually, because I still find it really mind-blowing, and it is hard for me, just the sheer numbers of people that are involved. Now, I don't know if you remember, I've said this before, but there are as many people on Facebook today as what walked the entire planet 100 years ago. So that's 1.8, I think the latest stats are 1.8 billion monthly active users on Facebook. That, folks, is mind-blowing. It really, I just go, it's mind-blowing. There's another article that came out earlier this week as one from HubSpot, and I wanted to share some bits and pieces from that with you because I thought that was really interesting, and they've titled it so just scroll back up to the top, seven Facebook changes you may have missed. I do have my neatly typewritten notes here, but I'm using a bit of both. 7 Facebook changes you may have missed. Now, and I've used what's in this article. I'll just summarise some of that for you, but I'll also share some of the smaller changes that I've picked up over the last probably couple of months, or actually not even that, even over the last month or so, because the changes happen daily. And they're such small little changes that we just, sometimes they're big changes, sometimes they're small changes, and it really is hard to keep up. So one of the things that I have made a commitment to do is to keep across this to the best of my ability and to bring it back to you. So when you get the Friday Facebook fix, it will be any changes. I've been incorporating any changes that have been made to Facebook that would likely impact you. Like there's big changes. The first big one that was announced in December, that Mark Zuckerberg has stated that Facebook's evolved from a traditional social media platform to a new type of media company. So what it is doing is looking at becoming a sort of hybrid technology news platform where everybody sort of interacts, and so you get your news, and you also get your family and friends and interactions on the personal level, but it's all really on a personal level. It actually shifts the focus, and it's got, I think, significant meaning for us as small business owners who are again looking at increasingly. This is only my own sort of analysis of it and my own take on it, but increasingly what we're going to be doing is we're having the big news agencies, and they'll be competing for space. And then again, and I suppose it might, if we think back to, I don't know if you're around when Google AdWords first started, and I wasn't advertising then, but I read a book from a guy called Annick Single, who wrote a book called Your Circle of Profit, and he said when he started in Google AdWords, what happened was you could bid, you could put a crappy ad up there, and then you could just bid, and the highest bidder got number one. It was as simple as that. And then when they started bringing the algorithms in and making it more interest-based, and it got harder and harder. So you can, it just doesn't matter how much money you throw at it if you've got crappy ads, then, or if your readers aren't interested, or if you haven't looked at the back of shop and made sure all your keywords are there and all the stuff that nobody really wants to think about, all your ducks are lined up there. In things like Facebook advertising, it's actually going to be the same. I'm jumping ahead a bit of myself here, but I think the competition is going to get fiercer, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit of myself, but there's always going to be something we can do, and I think there's because at this point Facebook still needs us little people, because they need the revenue, because they're not getting the revenue from the users, and they never will, as far as I cannot see it becoming a pay-to-play platform for consumers. For marketers, definitely, but and that's for like the big guys and also for the little guys like us. So we really do have to lift our game and get very, very savvy about what's happening on Facebook, and really just working towards making it. I think it's actually, there's a few other things that have happened which are going to make it a platform where we've gone from, we still expect to have authenticity. Facebook Live, here's another one that's coming out. I'm jumping here, but the Facebook Live is going to be able to be broadcast from desktops. Now, what that means is it will give the capacity for people like you and me, small business owners, to do things that are a little bit more professional, a bit more slick, a little less sort of like, what do the Americans use, the term mom and pop type soul trade. So we actually will have the capacity to be able to level up in what we do and how we do it. Of course, if you're out in the job, like say you, Nick, I see you're watching, and if you're out washing windows and doing what you do, and you've got someone videoing you live, then that's going to be you in action, and that's brilliant. But for people who do things like the non, like giving information, or even if you're actually just introducing yourself and giving some tips on, how to keep your windows clean after they're washed, I don't know. But you could do it live from your desktop. And what that means is that there's going to be I think a higher level of expectation that the information that we present and the way we present it will be able to do things like have slide sharing. And so at the moment, like, I want you to see something, and I just turn the camera around and I point it to my my screen. But with desktop sharing, desktop live, I think that's actually going to change the rules a little bit and change the ballpark in terms of having things that are a lot more professional. But I actually believe that we're still going to need the personal touch. We're still going to be, we still need that authenticity. You still need to have the personal, because if we want to see the journos that are all perfectly done up and got their scripts done properly, then we can go and have a look at sort of watch TV or watch the Huffington Post videos and things like that. But I think for us, there's still a bit of room for that just being yourself. Actually, there's a lot of room for just being yourself, but it's going to make us level up. Now, the Facebook Journalism Project, that is something that was announced this year, just the beginning of January, and it is what they do is they've initiated it because what Facebook wants to do is collaborate more closely. I'm just checking some of the wording here, with journalists and content creators, so things like Huffington Post and the traditional CNN and the news feed, the news publishers were being brought into the fold, which is really interesting, because now when people get their content, their news feed, their news content, we're all going to be getting it from the same platform, so we won't have to leave Facebook to get our news. And in fact, even now, we still, you can see the little trending bars, you can see news stories that come up, and also Facebook are working, again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but they're working with, now what do they call it? Third party, let's see, fighting fake news. So in line with this whole becoming a news content platform for several, like the major news outlets, they are doing things, because the recent election in the US is probably a distant memory for most of us who are outside of the US, but probably still topical for people who are inside, who reside in the United States still. But what they said was the amount of falsified news stories, and I don't want to get into a debate about what was falsified and what was true, because I have no idea. But the amount of fake news stories that went around that had potential to have a massive impact on the election. I guess nobody's going to know for real, because nobody was actually, as far as I understand it, was measuring the metrics of how many people believed what fake news stories were, and how many people actually believed they were fake news stories. And Stephen, hey bro, how are you? Now where am I up to? So what they wanted to do, what Facebook have done, is they've actually got third-party fact checkers. So here's a new job if you're interested. I think it's actually going to throw up a whole new world of opportunities, these types of changes, because you have to. They've got a whole tribe, a whole, what do you call them, community of people who do fact checking on news stories that are released. And I'm going to show you, because it started already, and I don't know, just let me know if you've seen, yay, bro's back again, yay. Let me know if you've seen these in your, I'll just show you, if you've seen them in your news feed, these ones. So I don't know if you can see that okay. It says disputed by third-party fact checkers, and here it says disputed by third parties. So I think it's a bit like a Wikipedia concept, where people will go, well, that's bullshit, or they will go, but like if everybody says that, well, then there's just we're not going to know what the truth is. But I think Wikipedia have got a pretty good system to make sure that we get the right information through their channel. But here they've got their third party fact checkers that will make sure that to keep the platform, keep the integrity of the platform, because if it does get too far out of hand and we don't know what's true and what's not, we'll just go elsewhere. We'll turn back to traditional news, where we think we get the truth, but we still get the truth according to those who are speaking to us, but it's not deliberately made up bullshit. So, well, at least we don't know, but this is the stories around the election were apparently deliberately made up bullshit. Moving on quickly, the video analytics. Oh, hang on, we'll just go. Oh, they're working, Facebook, and this is really quite exciting actually. Facebook are working with news outlets to develop different ways of creating and distributing content. So there's Facebook Live, 360 video, instant articles, and so these guys are getting first bite at the cherry. They'll be working with Facebook. Facebook will be working with them and refining this stuff. We already have access to instant articles, and that's the next step for me, is actually looking at how I can integrate that with my website, which has just come online, and use that for blog posts and that type of thing, rather than what I've been doing is using my notes section in my business page, and it's quite ineffective, but it was a great to start with when I had nothing else. So you just start where you stand. So this is going to be something that will affect all of us. The video analytics insights is being updated. So what you'll do is, when you post more video, because it's all about video, it's all about live video, get on live, do live as much as you possibly can. And the analytics, especially around, what did my notes say? Especially around total minutes viewed and total engagements. But what they're going to do is they're going to have better statistics on what they call meaningful metrics, so you can actually better understand who's watching what and how long they're watching for. The other one is there was an exciting one that I just had a thought, now it's gone. I'll just scroll through here and see if I can pick it up again. Video analytics, fake news, yep. I talked about live broadcast from computers. Oh, this is the one. Mid-roll for a video advertisement. So what that means is that what they'll be doing for content creators is they will actually be able to, it's like YouTube, so you can actually, if you've got a video that's 90 seconds or longer, you can put in an ad after 20 seconds, or you can insert videos into ads after viewers have watched them for at least 20 seconds. So Facebook sources saying that they will sell the ads and share 55% of the sales with the publishers. This is actually, it says, the same share that YouTube offers. So this is opening up an opportunity for you to get other people's eyeballs on your stuff, on other people's content. So this is really, really exciting. So start thinking about, because YouTube have been doing it for years, and now Facebook are actually doing this. And if you have great content, you can let other people advertise on your content, or if you want to advertise on other people's content, you can advertise there. So this is, it's a game changer, I think, one of these things, because one of this particular, especially for small business who are really getting into videos, because this is just, I can't believe how much this is actually going to change. So stay ahead of this, because we really do need to be on top of it. When YouTube first started, and like with doing ads on YouTube, it was, anyone could, and then people, in fact, people still do. I don't advertise on YouTube, but it's probably something I might look at in the future. But if it's here, and most people are on the platform, it would make sense to stay here and be part of this as it's developing. The Facebook ads inventory, which is the sponsored ads that you see through the news feed on your phone and on your desktop down the side of the sidebar of your to the right of your news feed, that those, oh my God, better talk quick. They are their inventory for that is going to be full. So the stock inventory is full from the mid-year this year. Now I've said this before, but it means that there's just going to be no more space in the newsfeed. Messenger is becoming big. They've got some massive changes there. They've got they've actually got over 1 billion monthly users now. It's evolving into a communications platform in its own right, like WhatsApp and WeChat. And you could, I don't know if you know this, but from 2015, you could actually get download the Messenger app, and you didn't need to have your own Facebook account. So, and that's actually getting more and more popular. For using it for business, you must be across how Messenger is evolving for your business. This is critical, because it's a communication tool that is going to, I think, eclipse, and it has for me already. It's eclipsing text messages, and it's eclipsing things like phone calls, because you just make you can make phone calls with Messenger. The other day I did the 3-way chat with the other admins from the Adelaide Suburbs Small Business Networking Group. So that was just clicking the video and bringing everybody into the video chat. And apparently, I haven't tried it out, but apparently you can do it with up to 50 people. So if you've got 50 people in a chat, you can do a video chat with 50 people. So I'm really keen to try that one out. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but keen to try it out at some point. The smaller changes I've known, you can now directly connect with people in Messenger without having them friend on Facebook. So you can, and you will notice there'll be a little thing come up saying you can now directly connect with this person if you want to. So you actually don't have to be friends on Facebook, which further expands your capacity to be able to communicate with your customers. So woohoo to that one. Chat rooms in Yes, the rooms, chat rooms in Messenger are now, I've got a chat room called Social Media for Small Biz Owners, and I have no idea what to, the really only benefit I can see of having a chat room is having it searchable and open. So anyone can join, anyone can leave. So search for that, Social Media for Small Biz Owners in Messenger. It's a room, you can jump in the room, and I guess the uses for that will become evident as Messenger matures and evolves. Now, we've got one more minute. The other thing I want to say, here's our face. Facebook has removed milestones from its pages. So if you've had a health check from me, and I suggest that you do your milestones and keep them up to date because Facebook loves a good party. Well, apparently it's bar humbug. They've taken milestones off. Now, I just want to share with you some of the results that I've had from the 747 creating massive engagement and organic reach on your business page. Here's Julia. She said she's also working through the videos, applying everything I've got to say a massive thank you to Adair. My page is already seeing this kind of growth already. So 142% growth in less than a week. Weekly total reach, 163% growth. People engaged, 166% growth. This stuff is amazing. So I'm getting so many testimonials from people who joined this 747 1 week course. People are just, their pages are going off, and it's so exciting, which just makes me, I'm so excited to start the boot camp, because if you think that was good, boot camp is going to blow your socks off. So I've got a link up here to have a look at the details. I'm a Facebook code breaker. Check that out, and come along and join us, because this will give you, if you become a Facebook code breaker, you will stay in the code breakers group, the mastermind group, forever. It will be actually subscription only in time to come, but because it's a new program and I'm developing it, I'm offering this opportunity for you to become a code breaker, and you will get you'll get for 8 weeks weekly webinars with going over the 10 steps to unlocking the Facebook code, which is the title of my new book. And you will get I'll be live in the group at least twice a week. You'll get full group support. You will get tools and tips and templates that just and also that will just blow your mind and make it easy to do. And you'll also get things like when I mentioned earlier about the changes to Facebook, that's where people are going to go to get the detail on the updated stuff. So I'll bring it to you here, and I will be able to bring you the information here through Friday Facebook Fix. But if you need to go deeper, which I imagine a lot of you will, the Facebook Code Breakers group will be the place to be. The opportunity now is to jump on board for lifetime for a single payment of $297. That's Aussie dollars. So jump on board and get all that for that tiny investment. You're just going to be able to keep across everything, and at a point in the not too distant future, as soon as I get the member hub back end figured out, it will be a subscription service. So this is an opportunity you don't want to pass up, folks. And on that note, before I lose my voice completely, it's been awesome having you here. It's been great sharing this stuff with you. Next week, I've written a blog called A Stranger to Australia, and I want to share with you next week how a girl I know came from the UK to Australia without knowing a person. She migrated with her family without knowing a single soul. She turned up here. She had a house, a loan car, some furniture till her furniture was shipped across, and she had a job before she landed here. This is the power of Facebook, folks. I'm really excited to bring this story to you because it's so exciting. Anyway, I will see you next week on Friday Facebook Fix. It's Adair Palmer, over and out. Bye.